Hello, and welcome to another one of our shows. This is Real Women Atlanta Live, and I'm your host, Charmaine Moss. And we've got a very exciting show today. We've got an amazing woman who I've known pretty much all my life. And she's an activist. She is a playwright. She's a pastor. I can't think of too many things that she isn't. She's an advocate for women, and so we're excited to have her on the show. Her name is Cassandra Green, and she'll be joining us shortly. But until then, I'd like to introduce to you all my co-host, Deidre Gary. Deidre, say hello to the people.
Hi, hello everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it,
Oh my God.
Charmaine?
So,
Yes, we are here today to discuss some really important matters that's happening in our world today. Cassandra is a part of that. She's a part of the change that we need.
right.
So that question that you may be asking of what can I do to help? What part, or what role do I play in this? I'm sure that you will be able to get some of those answers on today. Feel free to call in and discuss your feelings, discuss, or ask any questions you may have. And we will be happy to discuss as well as answer as much as we possibly can. But we want you to call in and let's make this a great forum today.
Absolutely. So, while we're waiting for Cassandra to come in, let's talk about Real Women Atlanta magazine and the mission, the vision, things that we've done in the past. Let's take this time to give a little background information about who we are. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Sally Jesse Raphael, can you join me? Well, let me start.
Wait,
Okay.
I was waiting. Like, hey,
Well,
let loose. Okay. Real Women Atlanta magazine and who we are and our audience that we shoot for are Black women. We are looking for Black women who have an amazing, triumphant story that tells other women, our younger generation, hey, you can do it too. These women are strong in the community. They're strong mothers. They're strong sisters within the community as well. And they are saying loud and proud that there is nothing, absolutely nothing that they cannot do. And there are many different stories that we have of people who have overcome trauma, who have overcome different diversities or different challenges in life as a Black woman. And that's what Real Women Atlanta is centered around, is that vision and that mission to bring forth and light to all the wonderful things that we do as a Black woman that sometimes may get ignored. And we want to applaud and put them in the light that they deserve to be in, put us in a light that we deserve to be in, to be able to tell a story. Because when you tell that story and you're transparent, that brings about power and change within our community as Black women. So I'm sure Charmaine can give a little more. She is the founder and seer, and God gave her this vision for us, which I want to say thank you for being obedient to this vision and what it has done for our community.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, Real Women Atlanta, the vision was actually given to me, I would say back in 2000. And I held on to it until I felt like, God was saying now was the time. But it is a platform that is designed for ordinary, extraordinary, amazing Black women, so that they could tell their stories, things that they've had to overcome, challenges that they've had to overcome. Simply because you don't have a popular name doesn't mean that you don't have a story. And so our platform gives you an opportunity to have a voice and to encourage and to inspire other women and to let them know that, the things that you've gone through, guess what? They can come through it as well. That's what we want to do, because we can make each other stronger by giving our stories, being transparent, as Deidre said, and also pulling together our resources. If we were to do that, if we pull together our resources, there is nothing that we could not do. We would definitely be a force to be reckoned with as Black women. And so this is our vision. This is our mission. There are a lot of events that we had planned this year, but of course, because of COVID, we had to make some changes. And so that's why we created Real Women Atlanta Live. And so we do want to hear from you. If you've got an incredible story, if you're a businesswoman, if you are a mother, if you're a Black woman and you've got an amazing story, reach out to us. You can send us your story to Real Women Atlanta at yahoo.com. That's Real Women Atlanta at yahoo.com. We would love to hear from you and to try to get you on this show. We're here every Saturday at 1:00. So come join us, okay? We are excited about our guest today. As I said, she's a pastor. She's an activist. She is an advocate. She's a playwright. There is nothing that I don't think that she has done. And I'm just excited that she was available to be on our show today. Her name is none other than Cassandra Green. Cassandra, welcome.
Welcome.
Hi. Hello. How's everyone doing?
Great. How are you?
Great.
I am exhausted. I have been literally running all morning, and I just got in because there's so much going on the political front right now. Mm-hmm. I have been extremely busy all week, so I'm just blessed to be here.
Yes.
Well, we're glad that you were able to fit us in your schedule today. We've got an hour for you to tell us all the things that you've done, or some of the things that you've done. I mentioned that you're a pastor. I mentioned that you are an activist and you're an advocate for domestic violence, women who've gone through domestic violence. You're a playwright. You've written plays on domestic violence. You've written plays on, you did a play for the Morse Ford Bridge. So go ahead and tell our viewers more about you.
I am, first of all, I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I'm a Geechee girl. Just like Pastor Charmaine, she's a Geechee girl too. Hello. So let's say that first.
Yeah.
I am from Charleston, South Carolina. I've been living in Atlanta since 1990. I came to Atlanta, so I've been here. I'm a Georgia peach now with a South Carolina flair. So let's put it like that. So, but yes, I am. And I'm also the founder of WOW Ministries, which is an organization that I founded probably about 30 years ago. And we work with people in domestic violence, human trafficking, bullying. We work with people with mental health issues. So we're well-rounded when it comes to, it's all about service. So I tell people that my motto is great leaders are great servants. If you're not serving anybody, you're not a good leader. Hello, somebody. Yeah. You can have a title, but you are not a great leader unless you are a great servant. Yeah. So my first thing in life is just to serve the people in my community, whether it's saved people or people that are not saved. God did not distinguish that we just supposed to help people that are saved. So I work with anyone. So the ministry is always first priority. Everything that I do aside from that is just icing on the cake.
Mm, amazing, amazing. You mentioned human trafficking. I forgot that you were involved with human trafficking. Where is that today? Because at one point there was a great focus on human trafficking, and because of so many other things, COVID, and now with with these senseless murders and stuff, it has somehow taken the back seat. So where are we with human trafficking?
I don't know whether you realize it, but Atlanta used to be the number one hub in the country for human trafficking. That's boys, girls, women. They were the number one hub. Why? Because we have the airport where these young people could be brought in back and forth without anyone looking at them or suspecting anything. Also, we have a lot of conventions. So anytime you have conventions and sporting things going on, you have a high rate of human trafficking because these men want to be entertained. Wow. And they think entertainment comes from, young girls and young boys. So let's keep that real. Young girls and young boys.
Wow.
So human trafficking has gotten better in Atlanta because there was a large campaign, saying for people, if you see something suspicious, you say something. There are signs all over the Atlanta airport. If you notice, if you fly in and out like I do, you see signs that said Atlanta will not put up with human trafficking, and we are on the lookout. So you have people paying more attention. So Atlanta is doing better, but they're not where they need to be.
Wow. Yeah. So if people want to get involved, there's your organization, and are there others too that
Yes, there are. There's Angels, Shaw's Angels, which deals with young women and human trafficking. A young woman that I absolutely love is over that organization. They're doing a lot of work. Creflo Dollar's church, they have a human trafficking part to their ministry as well. All you have to do is look up human trafficking, and there are so many organizations in Atlanta that are working with human trafficking. So it's a lot of places where you can get more information or become involved.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about you being a playwright. You've done some incredible plays, and I'm sure. You've written many for others, possibly yourself. So tell us about that.
Okay, I actually started writing plays probably about 25 years ago, and I started writing plays for churches. Churches would contact me because they knew that I wrote and would ask me, well, we're doing a Black History, or we're doing, something, whatever the event is they're doing. Could you come up with a play for us? So I started writing plays basically for churches. I started with churches. And then I realized that there was such a need for awareness on so many different issues that I said, you know what? And issues that the church did not want to talk about. Wow. Now, anybody that knows me knows that if the church don't want to talk about it, I want to talk about it, because we have to keep people aware. Oh yeah, that's just me. We have to keep people aware of the things that are going on. So I was talking about stuff like sex trafficking, sexual abuse, and they were like, well, you can't talk about that in the church. Well, I was like, okay, I'll talk about it outside the church. So I started, I started having events at different halls, and people would say, hey, I have a space, you can come and use my space. So I started talking about things like sexual abuse, mental health awareness. These are issues that the church really don't want to talk about. They don't put a focus on that. And bullying, so those were some of the issues that I went after. They didn't want to talk about domestic violence. Wow. And most of the women that are being abused in domestic violence are in the church. They're Christian women.
Yeah.
And so that means that if they're Christian women and they with a Christian man, hello. So that means that somebody sitting inside the pews is doing something they are not supposed to be doing. So that was an issue that the church was avoiding. So all of those issues became issues that I wrote on and brought awareness to. And then different nonprofits would start contacting me. Every type of nonprofit you can name started contacting me about writing plays for them. And so I began writing plays, public service announcements, all of this stuff for different organizations around Georgia and outside of Georgia.
I remember this one play that you did called But I Love Him.
But I Love Him.
But I Love Him.
Yes. That play, and I changed it. I could change it almost every year, the different dynamics. So that play covered the overweight woman whose husband or boyfriend was telling her, you know, ain't nobody gonna want you. You too fat. So she stayed because the body image thing. And then I had rich women, and all of the women that I mentioned were women that I had counseled over the years that was actually dealing with those particular situations. And like the wealthy woman, I dealt with plenty women that were living the golden life as far as the world could see. But they were being abused because that man was a controller. Why was he a controller? Because first of all, he had the power to be a controller. He had the money to be a controller.
Yep.
You understand? So then those women would go up under abuse, domestic violence, and stay there. And women stay for different reasons. I covered a woman not leaving because she didn't want her children to go through what she went through as a kid. So she stayed for financial reasons. Everybody has a different reason why they stay in abusive relationships, and I cover them all of them. The sexual, the financial, the emotional, the spiritual. I covered every aspect.
Yeah, that was an incredible play. I hope you do that one again. And Morris Ford Bridge. Tell people the history, because a lot of people aren't even aware of that incident.
Yeah, Morris Ford Bridge, first of all, the Morris Ford Bridge lynching reenactment is the only lynching reenactment in the world. I'm not in Georgia, not in the country, but in the world. I have directed the Morris Ford Bridge lynching reenactment. This year will be my 12th year if we get to do it. So that's 12 years. But the history behind Morris Ford Bridge lynching, what took place here in Georgia, was the murder of two African-American couples in 1946 in Monroe, Georgia. We know that there were police officers involved because witnesses saw a police car leading the group of men that had lynched the Malcolms and the Dorseys off of the bridge that day. So once again, it's still relevant today. That's why I tell people we have not come as far as we think we have come. So these people were murdered. No one was ever tried or even convicted because of the good old boy standard. No one, everyone knew who participated, but no one would talk. So we cover it in a very compelling way. And I did a story with NBC last year. And what I said at the end, they put it at the end of the story that they did. I said, when you see this reenactment, this lynching reenactment, if you cry, I did my job. If you get angry, I did my job. Because the bottom line is people begin to have a conversation. And that's what it's all about for me. We must have the hard conversations when it comes to race, justice, inequality. We must talk about it.
Right.
And I'm so glad you brought that point up. I had a specific situation actually yesterday concerning that, and a Caucasian friend that I had or have at the time. And he made a post, because now we have social media that's attached to this, to where people can just say, and you can see any and everything that's being fed now. And he posted White Lives Matter. And of course, my initial response to that was like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, I know you've been seeing my posts. I know you've been seeing what's going on in this nation, this world right now. And you want to put that up. And then he had additional posts that were supporting that. And this is someone that I considered to be a friend. We had a lot of great times together, things of that such. And so my response initially was, okay, they do matter, you know, but it was great. It was great being friends with you. And I was going to block him until I saw a message that came in, which was from his cousin. It was the younger generation as well. And he said, uncle, you're completely, you know, or cousin, you're completely wrong. You know, that's not what it's about. Right now, you know, Black people are in danger, the Black men, or, you know, he just went into all the different things. And that prompted me to say, you know what, let me come in and chime in and to have an uncomfortable conversation, like you said, and open that door, open that window to where he can understand what this is for, what this movement is for. And if you care and say the word love to me, this is what I need from you. And I know, you know, in their state, they don't necessarily understand or will fully. But I do feel, as you just said, once again, it is our responsibility to, you know, say and help them and show them what this is about. Now, it's up to them. If they don't, you can only bring a horse to the water, but you cannot make him drink it. But we do have a responsibility as a people to make sure that we do our part and not walk away and get mad and say, oh, you know what? Put up our 2 deuces. We out of here. I don't want to deal with you. No, deal with it. Let you know, train people, give them the knowledge that's needed. Yeah. And I've been following you, Cassandra, and watching everything that you've been doing, the recent protests that you've been in. And I just want you to speak about that as well.
Yeah. This is my thing. And I've lost several white friends. Unfortunately, I thought they were my friends, but this is the bottom line. If you say that you are my friend and you think that what is happening with Black people in this country is okay, or you find justification for it, first of all, you are not my friend. That's the big, you are not my friend. Yeah. We were casual acquaintances, and now you've shown me your true colors, because once you show me your colors, I want to believe you. Yeah. Now we can have a conversation, but if your conversation does not lean towards the idea that, hey, no, the way I was thinking about this thing is all wrong, because none of us are stupid. People act like Black people are stupid. Yeah. We know that all lives matter. What we're saying right now is it's not your kids, it's not your husband, it's not your brother, it's not your friend that is being killed on the street. We have to have the conversation without, you're not having a conversation with your child. You don't have to tell your child that, listen, if they stop you, make sure you keep your hands on the steering wheel. Don't make any sudden moves, and just tell them everything. If they ask for your license, no, they're not having that conversation. Right. We are. So that means that there is something different between what's happening with the Black community and Latino community and what is happening with the white community. Right. So we know that, but you haven't realized that yet. And then you get offended when we stand up for ourselves. What's wrong with that picture? Right. What's wrong with that picture? Yeah. There's something wrong with that picture. So when I go and I'm marching and I'm saying Black Lives Matter, I know white lives matter. I know whatever color you are, lives matter. But I know that we are the ones that are being affected in this time and have been affected in this country for all of the years that we have been here. We have always been treated like second-class citizens, and you got an idiot in the White House that's making it worse for all of us, and I have to say something about it. Yes. Absolutely. As we all should.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I tell you what's great to me is, it's unfortunate that any of this stuff has happened. But at some point it had to be exposed. And what I love is that there are people all across the world, that are getting involved, and they're marching and they're protesting about what's happening here in the United States. That is, to me, amazing. When you see people protesting in Australia, when you see people protesting in France, and Canada, this thing is incredible.
Yeah.
So
let me say this to piggyback on what you just said. I have done interviews for Moores Ford Bridge with reporters from around the world, literally from around the world. How about this week on one post that I did about the protest downtown, I had 5 reporters from 5 different countries to contact me and said, Cassandra, we're in this with you. We're marching here in Berlin, Germany. We're marching in the UK. We're marching in Australia. We're marching in France. And these were reporters that I had interviewed because of Moores Ford Bridge. The dynamic may have slightly changed, but the story is still the same. And we must change the narrative of the story that is being played out for Black Americans in this country. No if, and a but. This is it. Normally, when there's been an incident like this, maybe 2-3 days most, people will make a noise, and that's it. This one, people are not backing down.
Yeah.
You are going to change the system, or the system is going to be totally disruptive, and this country is not going to be business as usual.
Right.
Will not happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There is, I don't know if you all had watched the George Floyd funeral, where Al Sharpton did the eulogy. He's calling for a march on Washington on August the 8th, I believe it is. Are you participating in that, Cassandra?
Right now, we are planning SCLC DeKalb. We're talking about, us going. And if they don't go, it's okay, because I'm a lone wolf sometimes. I will jump on a plane or jump in my car and drive somewhere. Look, hello, somebody. See, I don't need a crowd to do what I need to do. If you're an advocate or an activist, you don't care if you march alone. You go and you get the job done. So let me. Yeah, I'm definitely planning to go on, but let me share this. I have had the unfortunate pleasure of meeting 4 women that have lost their children to police brutality.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I do not like that. You understand what I'm saying? These women are some of the most amazing women I have ever met in my life, because despite what they have gone through, they don't want violence. All of them say the same thing. They don't want to see violence. They want to see justice for their children. And they have a right to want to see justice for. Who does not want their child to have justice? Any person, white, black, orange, whatever color you are, you want justice. So the last person I met was Aubrey's mom, Wanda Cooper. When I tell you, she had me crying, and I'm like, she's like, I just want to make sure everyone is okay. Are you okay? She said, come on over here. Let's take some pictures. She was trying to console us. We were there to console her and to stand with her, and she's consoling us. Wow. That's a strong Black woman.
Yeah.
That's a strong Black woman. Lucy McBath, who actually has become in the House of Representatives as a result of her son being shot for playing music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Playing music loud.
Senseless, yes.
You killed that lady's child over music. And then, and you feel like you were justified. Okay, Lennon Lacy, who as mother Claudia Lacy, her and I are very good friends right now. Lennon was hung in 2014 at 17 years old in Bradenboro, North Carolina. And the police there, when they found him hung, because the person that they believe and we believe, the family believes and we believe, was involved in the cover-up, was a sheriff in that town. His cousin was involved. So we still are not getting justice even to this day, 2020, and we are still being treated like animals.
Yeah.
Even with all of these different cases, it has been a constant prayer of mine for those mothers, because every time this happens, that's a constant reminder of what happened to them. And it triggers every single time. That's a trigger. Yes. And I've been in intense prayer for even just that. In their hearts, and as those new mothers are coming in and experiencing just with them and what they're experiencing at the time, is I could not get through the George Floyd video. I just couldn't. Yeah. The words that I heard about him calling his mother and things, I heard that through the news and social media, because I just couldn't stomach. And that week when it happened, emotionally, I was a wreck. Like it just, I don't know it. And I always have been angry about it, but it was just something that just turned in my spirit and was like, enough. I'm tired and I cannot take this anymore. Yes. How do you feel, Cassandra, with as far as people who are rioting versus protesting? What do you say?
Okay, let me tell you, I definitely am not with the looting, because looting is you just stealing because you got an opportunity to steal. And that does not do justice for anyone. So if you looting, you just want to steal stuff. You don't care nothing about George Floyd. You don't care nothing about Aubrey. You don't care about Breonna Taylor. You don't care about any of the people that have been killed. You just want to steal something because you can steal something. Protesting is something totally different. With a protest, you're sending a loud message without the violence. Without the violence. And think about even Dr. King, even though they were extremely violent with Dr. King, he still, they stood their ground, they went to jail, they were bruised and banged up. Now, I'm not saying that the people today, because these millennials, oh Lord, I had to have a conversation with some millennials the first night of the protest, because you always have that group in there that they want to explode. They want to explode into violence. So we were marching down by Centennial Park, and we were getting to this street, and there were a line of police cars, like 8 or 10 down the side street. We're marching, the line slows up because there were just so many people. There is a group of young men that I felt their spirit earlier. I was like, okay, God, this is going to be trouble right here. Because they were already talking and letting know they were going to, be a problem. In the police cars, we're standing there waiting to move forward. And this young man says, jump on the police car. We need to tear that car up. Jump on the car. So I stood between them. It was maybe 4 or 5 of them, between them and the police cars. And I said, no, babies, we're not going to do that today. We're not going to do that, because the organizers, who were millennials as well, were like, everyone that spoke said the same thing. This is a peaceful march, and we want everyone to keep it peaceful. So I said, this is their march. Why would you come and do that when they've asked you not? So another group of young people that were all around, they were like, no, y'all need to keep it moving. Y'all not going to do that. Y'all not going to do that. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. So those group that stood for the peaceful marches made the other ones move on, right? So we're still standing there. So they started moving. So they're doing the F word and the police and all this, but they kept moving because the crowd said, no, you're not going to do that. Right. So the police officer got out of his car, the one who they were talking, he heard everything they said because his window was down. He said, ma'am, let me tell you, thank you for that. He said, because if that kid had jumped on my car, he said, I was going to snatch his bleep off of my car. And he would have had every right to do so. So you can have a few people that are not, for the cause, as they say, they want to strike out to make havoc for everyone. And that would have been a mess had he jumped on that man's car and they had to snatch him down. And then everybody now everything is chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just got to use wisdom, y'all.
Cassandra, you have grandsons. How has this changed the conversation that you're having with them? I mean, what are you telling your grandsons to help them?
For some reason, my sound has gone down. Can you repeat that?
You have grandsons. Can you hear me?
Oh, I have to put it up to my ear. What'd you say?
I said you have grandsons.
Yes.
What has your conversation been with your grandsons throughout all this?
You know, I recently had to talk again, just talk to them. I have cried. I actually did a post, y'all, where I cried out. I said, what? I'm asking why white people. I'm asking, what do you want me to tell my grandchildren that you feel like would protect them? Because if they hold their hands up, they're shot. If they reach for their license, they're shot. If they're just sitting in their car, they're shot. What if they're walking into a store out of a store with Skittles, they're shot. What do I tell them? And none of them could give me an answer. So what I tell my grandsons, and it's been very hard, because one of them told me, I'm scared to drive because I don't want to get pulled over. Why should our children feel that way? But I told them, if you think you're about to be stopped, put your phone. That's why these phones are good for something.
Yeah.
Put your phone on, call me or your mom, and make sure that we are on the call while you're talking to the officer. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Because I don't know white kids that have to do that.
Right.
I don't either.
Yeah. And Deidre, you have 3 sons.
I do. And my oldest is soon to be 20 in a week. He just got, his own personal car. And then I have a 17 and a 15-year-old. And different from the way I grew up in all Black schools. We were the majority. If there was a white person or someone of another, color or descent coming, they were the minority. So now the way that my children have grown up, they've grown up in a more diverse type of setting in schools and things of that such. And I remember having the conversation with my son. He went to go to high school with his dad and live with him, and they lived in Forsyth County. And I remember having a conversation with him really young and talking with him about the stories of Forsyth County and while he's there, what he has to do, and how he may be perceived just by the color of his brown skin. And he was really upset with me because he had a lot of different white friends. He had Black friends as well, but he also had a lot of white friends, and he thought I was being really, really mean. And I had to take that because he just didn't understand. And he was young at the time. So when he got to his senior year, they had a little dance, which was a camouflage type. You had to dress in, everybody had to dress in camouflage. So he had a couple of Caucasian boys walk up on him and tell him that if I see you with this on again, there's going to be something. So my son's like, what you talking about? Like, I don't, So the guy, they reiterated, if we see you with this camouflage on, we're gonna get you, right? So my son, of course, is just like, oh, there's nothing you're gonna do to me. I ain't worried about that. And, he held his, foot strong concerning that. But it escalated, a little later to where we had to go to speak to the principal in the school concerning it. But that was his first real encounter of racism and that it was real. And just last Sunday, we had another conversation after all of the activities, and even with my boys here, all the activities has been going on. And I said, there's some things that you you know it's an I told you so, but in this case, I didn't want that to be an I told you so,
Right.
and all of these different events that have happened and how important it is to stay alert, watch as well as pray, and keep yourself in a space. I mean, all this directive and directions that we have to give to our son. We have to call now, even every day. I have brothers, I have loved ones, cousins, uncles, that's constantly in our minds now. And our prayers have even changed, not just praying or covering. We have to be even more specific with our prayers to make sure that we get to see them and they get to come back home whole.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's unfortunate that we're having to have all of these conversations. And my thing is, man, I don't want to see another mother crying because of their child be unjustly, y'all, for crazy stuff. We had a man in South Carolina. I know Pastor Charmaine realizes this. The young man that the older guy that he got stopped for a backlight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what he was thinking, but whatever he was thinking, he is running away from the police officer, no weapon, no anything, and you shoot him down like a dog from the back. What how do you justify that in your head that was okay to do? And I think a lot of it is they fear us so much that we are a threat even when we are not a threat.
Right.
Yeah.
We are a threat even when we are not a threat.
Yeah.
Wow. One of the things I noticed is that there are companies and there are municipalities and schools and individuals that are taking action. I heard about, I think there was a municipality, a mayor or somebody in California, I believe they were, that has now pulled their contract with the police to do the schools. There are those that are donating money to like New York to help in Black communities. And there are those that are standing up. So, man, this thing is really making an impact. But where do we go from here? How do we keep this thing going where it doesn't die down or die out with no with no solutions, with no answers, how do we do this, Cassandra?
But there are answers. There are answers. First of all, voting is a major answer. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Voting is a major answer because the bottom line is you can vote out people that are not showing that they are concerned about all communities.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they need to be concerned just about the Black community, but you have to be concerned about all communities.
Yeah.
And until you do that, you're not doing your job. So that means that we need to replace you.
Yes.
We need to replace you.
Absolutely.
So I have switched over, guys. I'm trying. Can you see me now?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. I'm on okay, I'm trying to switch over to my computer to make it a little bit better. I know we don't have that long, but yeah, there are things that we can do and we must do in order for things to change. Part of that is the voting process. I love the fact that Valencia, I'm going to get off of this one, okay, real quick. Okay.
You all can definitely call in before we end the show. Any questions that you may have to join the discussion, feel free to give us a call. Now it's 678-381-1973. That's 678-381-1973.
Cassandra, are you there? Well, she was talking about, we'll wait for her to come back, but she was talking about voting. I've heard people say that, voting is not going to matter,
Mhm.
but it does.
It does.
But it does. Are you there? Trying to hear her. Yeah, I mean, that's for one thing, there are those who lost their lives, for us to vote, to be able to vote.
Mhm.
Don't take it lightly.
At
And
all.
and this year more than ever, we need millennials to step up. We need millennials to engaged, get involved in the voting process. We got folks in the White House that don't give a rat's about us, and
Mhm.
it's time for change. It's time to get them out. We need
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So voting, we can make a difference through voting.
Yeah.
We need to vote locally as well, because that has an impact on your everyday living. And so you need to make sure that you go to your local poll and you
Mhm.
vote for the mayors, vote for the sheriffs, vote for your Senate, vote for whoever else, your commissioners. You need to be voting in this year's election more than ever. And then also, I want to say you need to get involved. If you live in the community, then you need to be involved in your community in some capacity. Um, get involved with an organization, get involved with a political party, just get involved, and educate yourself on what's happening within your community. That's very important. If you've got children that go to school, you need to be involved. You need to know where your tax dollars are going. That's very important. Deidre. I think Deidre froze. So we're waiting on Cassandra to come back in. Deidre, you're there. You froze for a minute. But what are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, my thoughts are the exact same as yours. That's our voice,
It's
and our ancestors fought for that right on
yeah,
our behalf to be able to allow us, to walk to the polls freely, not to wait in a white only or colored for colored. We can walk freely through the lines now and vote and make our voice matter. If Black Lives Matter means something to you, then voting should mean something to you as well.
yeah. Cassandra, we're glad to have you back.
Mhm.
Can you hear us?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, I hear you now.
Yeah, you were talking about things that we can do to make a
Yes,
difference. Yeah, and you were
yeah.
talking
Of
about
course, we know that voting in people that will support the agenda for all. Nobody's asking for special treatment.
Yeah.
I think that's what they don't get. We're
right,
not asking you to treat us special. We're
right,
asking you to treat us justly. We're
Yes.
asking for equal access to everything that this country stands for. That's
Yes.
what we're asking, not for you to treat me any different than anyone else.
right,
Just treat me like everyone else.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
And that's
so
just the Constitution. I mean, the Constitution says that
absolutely
all men are created
are
equal.
created.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
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 so there it is. Yeah, absolutely.
So we have that. We can do it through the voting and then through legislation. And listen, let's understand that the guidelines for police officers are set city by city, state by state.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So then that means that you not just voting 45 out is immensely important.
yes,
He has to go,
yes,
bottom line.
yes,
But that will not change your city and your state dynamics if
Mhm.
you don't vote in people that will promote the right things. So
Yes.
then we got to vote for the sheriff.
Mhm.
We got to vote for the mayors.
Mhm.
We got to vote for our senators, our House of Representatives.
yes,
Put in people that will show justice for all. The
yes,
judges,
yes,
the police chief. You
yes,
understand? It's plenty we can do.
Yes.
If we start right there, we can change the whole setting. Now, the next thing we can do to make this move even faster is economics. Hello, somebody.
Yes. Yes.
You hit these large corporations in their pocket,
Yes.
and I promise you, they will flip this country upside down to
Yes.
make sure that they do what we need done.
Yes.
So that means people like Walmart, Kroger, hello,
Yes.
the
Yes.
gas stations.
Yes.
That's money. That's big money.
Yes.
Any place where we can hit them in the pocket, if we affect them as a group,
Yes. Yes.
one day blackout is not going to get it. Hello.
No.
Yes.
No.
Hello.
No.
A one day blackout is what? A tax write-off.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
you do a week,
Yeah.
and if in 2 weeks, oh, I promise you all kind of things start. That's what Dr. King and the civil rights people did back in the day. They shut down the bus system.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I was in a movie about what's her name? Parks, Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks.
And I played a woman that was running to catch a ride with a man that was picking up 6 or 7 people, going around over and over, picking up people and taking them to work so that they would not ride the transit system. We have to listen.
Yes.
Desperate situations demand desperate measures.
Absolutely.
So we can do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? Earlier this week, I Googled corporations that support 45.
Yeah.
Companies like Target, companies like Hobby Lobby. There are major companies that have donated monies to 45. And we need to know who those companies are.
That's right.
We don't need to, if they would donate money to somebody like that, then that means that they don't care anything about us. And so we don't need to be shopping and supporting them.
They care about us. They care about this.
Yeah.
The cheddar.
Yeah.
They want the cheddar. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care nothing about you.
Yeah.
They care about your dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah.
And so if we hit those dollar bills, I promise you, they will be pulling all kind of funding from all kind of places.
Right.
And we need to let them know when we're not going in their store. This is why Mr. Target man, Mr. Walmart family, all of y'all, this is why we're not coming in your stores. And until you show us something different, we will not be coming into your store. Bottom line.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Bottom line. Let them know why we're not shopping. I will not be shopping at your store today because your store supports 45.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be surprised at those who are supporting, you'd be surprised. So, I mean, people really need to do the research. They need to find out who these companies are. They'd be surprised. Yeah. And I only Googled 10 of them, but there are a lot more that are out there supporting his agenda. And
absolutely.
And so, like you said, I mean, we need to not support them with our financial dollars.
Yeah,
absolutely. When this president said last week, if you're looting, we shooting, that means that he has no regard for your life, because you mean to tell me you want them to shoot somebody because they stole a pair of shoes or took a pair of shoes out of store? You want them to shoot?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that type of mentality, y'all.
Yeah, but that tells
Even though we don't want people doing it, but there's something wrong with that type of mentality. And then this man went way back and said, if you cross the thresholds onto White House, whatever, barriers, we will put the vicious dogs and use other ominous devices. Do you not realize what vicious dogs mean to Black people?
Right.
That lets me know that there is something wrong with you. If you look at the pictures from the 1960s protests, the thing that bothered me a whole lot more than a whole lot of stuff is seeing those dogs being sick on Black people, water hoses, they being sprayed and falling all over the ground, being hurt, and you make reference to that. You're a racist, and you cannot tell me, ain't no person on this earth can tell me that man is not a racist based on what comes out of his own mouth. Nobody telling me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he kind of reminds me of George Wallace. I mean, George.
George Wallace.
George Wallace.
Yeah. George Wallace was the one that said about niggas and boom, 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 boom back in the day. And then ended up getting shot or hurt or however he got hurt, and then turned around and became an advocate for Black people.
Right.
But it took him getting shot and getting in that wheelchair, and he had to apologize to Black people for using the N-word and all of the other racist things that he did against Black people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what's going on locally that you're going to be involved with and that we need to be involved with? Let us know what's coming up next. What are some of the events from the protests?
Yes. So every day, of course, there's the protest downtown. I understand that some people that's not their thing. They're not going to go down there. But you can be making phone calls to the mayor. You can be making phone calls to your representative. You can make, hey, we need something to change. These people are down here protesting because we are not being treated fairly. So there are things you can do. For me, I'm all in. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be marching. I'm going to be yelling like I was so hoarse the other day I could hardly talk. That's because that's who I am. That's what I'm on the ground. I'm an on the ground person. So I will be there today. And some people from NAACP and SCLC will be downtown at 3:00. We're going to be there. We're going to be talking to the young people. Same thing we've been doing on the other days that I've been there. We've been talking to the young people, letting them know. Hey, oh, wait, let me tell you. We got a minute for me to tell you this slow. This was really, this was funny to me, but not funny. So there like hundreds of people, right? So we're standing out there, and some of the SCLC members are talking to the young people, and one young man says, "Oh, you old heads, y'all need to back up and let the young people do what they're gonna do." So I stepped up and I said, "Can I tell you that without us old heads, as you call us, you wouldn't even have the opportunity to be standing where you are right now, because they would have taken you down immediately and every other person there. But because all heads like me and these other SCLC leaders are out here, you can do what you do." Oh no. So the younger people were like, she told you, why you gonna say something like that? And they started going at him. See, if you stand up for what's right, if there are people around that believe in what's right, they will get in line behind you and say, "Oh, no. It ain't going down like that." Yeah. You understand? But then he had to back all the way back when he was saying, I'm like, "Well, I don't mean y'all." Yes, you did. But you got called out on it. So then you had to, we cannot be afraid to speak to our own children. I've never been afraid to speak to them.
Right.
Those are our children. And if they're doing something wrong or they going down the wrong path, it's up to us to say, "Baby, we can't do it like that."
Right, absolutely.
We just had that conversation. The guest we had last week, Wendy, which you probably know, Cassandra. And we talked about these things and what's going on now, and the millennials that have come out with this force and certain things, and how we were upset about the way that they're doing it. And then, like you said, some of the things that they're saying, "Oh, well, what you guys didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't do anything. Now we have to come in and take over and do better than what you did and really bring about change, right?" But what we realized in our conversation, and actually Wendy brought this point up, is that have we taken time to really speak to the younger generation? Or how many times have we, Keisha went by and he was like, "You know what? I'm not dealing with her and her, go about your way. I'm not dealing with that." Instead of pulling her in saying, "Let me teach you, let me show you who you are," because that's what this is about. You don't know who you are. But it's our job to train and teach you and let you know who you are. So that's where we drop the ball in a lot of this as well. they're coming in with these reactions and what they're doing. We've got to take time and build we're known for village and community. When I was growing up, I did anything on Shamrock Drive where I used to live, anything I did out of order. If I jumped out of a tree, guess what? Miss Brown was going, you know, you ain't supposed to do that. I'm going to tell your granddaddy when he get back home from the store. You know you ain't supposed to be out there. Get your little behind back in that house. And guess what I did? I got my little behind back in that house. But now we're afraid to use community and village. And that's who we are. And that's what we do. And we've got to get back to that.
Yeah.
We have to. We have to. Because it takes a village. I don't care how cliche that sounds. It takes a village to raise young people now. And you're right. Educating them, taking the time to talk to them. And like I said, I'm one of those weird people that I will just say something. I'm not afraid to talk to my own people. If I'm on a MARTA bus and a group of them acting up and cutting up and cussing and carrying on, babies, could y'all not do that, please? Do you not see these older women sitting here? We're tired, and we don't. We got to talk to our children.
That's right.
We have to educate them. This isn't the way that we behave. This isn't who we are.
Right.
We're better than this, and we have to do better. So it's about us. You're right. We need to educate our people.
Right. So Cassandra, let our viewers know how they can get in touch with you if they want to get involved with some of the things that you're involved with, whether it's human trafficking, whether it's domestic violence, or what's going on now with the protesting. Give them your contact information, Facebook, Instagram, phone number, all that stuff.
Okay. First, I want to mention an event that's coming up on June 14th with DKM Radio. And they are going to be doing a town hall meeting, which it will be a time that we have people in law enforcement, people in the legal system, we have activists, and we have citizens, concerned citizens that will be meeting together to discuss what is happening in our country and what we need to do to bring the change. So that they can get that information at dkmradio.com. And to reach me, you can reach me on Facebook under WOW Ministries, WOWW Ministries on Facebook. You can reach me there. You can reach me at my phone number. My phone number is on Facebook, so everybody calls me. My number is 770-899-7424. I can update you about anything that's going on that I'm aware of in the city that has to do with any type of advocacy. Because May was actually Mental Health Awareness Month, and we had a huge event planned for the state capitol in May, but because of what's going on with Corona, we ended up having to cancel it. But I'm a big advocate for mental health. I'm awareness. I counsel. So please, you can reach out to me, 770-899-7424. Anything you want to know about any awareness, anything going on in the community. And today at 3:00, I'll be downtown at Centennial Park at the corner of Centennial Park Drive and Marietta Street with other NAACP and SCLC leaders.
Well, thank you, Cassandra. As always, anytime I call, you're always there. And so I appreciate you greatly. That we're first cousins.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. I will tell you, she's my cousin too now.
Biological.
Yes.
And I mean, since I've been here in Atlanta, I mean, she's always been there for me. And so I love you and I thank you for that.
Love you too.
Anything that we can do through the magazine, or through the radio show, or even us personally, just please let us know. Again,
absolutely.
Thank you for joining us. Thank all of our viewers for being with us today. Again, we're going to be here next Saturday, same place, same time, 1:00. Thank you, Raheem, our station manager, for the great work that you do. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.